In World War I, the youthful Hercule Poirot devises a system to assist the Allied forces with reclaiming land against the Central Powers, but he can't prevent his captains passing from a booby trap, which mutilates Poirot's face. He is watched out for by his darling, Nurse Catherine, who urges him to develop his mustache to hide his scars. In 1937, Poirot enters a club where jazz singer Salome Otterborn is performing. He witnesses Jacqueline Jackie de Belfort introduce her fiancé Simon Doyle to her childhood friend, heiress Lynette Ridgway, to offer him work. Lynette hires Simon on the spot, and ignites fly between the two to Jackie's discomfort. A month and a half later, Poirot is vacationing in Egypt when he experiences his friend Bouc and meets his mom Euphemia, an eminent painter. Bouc introduces Poirot to his friends Lynette and Simon, who have married and are celebrating their vacation. The vacation is joined by a few visitors: Lynette's longtime maid Louise Bourget, Salome, Salome's niece and director and Lynette's old schoolmate Rosalie, Lynette's communist-leaning backup parent Marie Van Schuyler, Van Schuyler's nurse Mrs. Nooks, Lynette's cousin Andrew Cacciadorian, who is responsible for Lynette's will, and specialist Linus Windlesham, who had been locked into Lynette before she left him for Simon. Lynette and Simon demand protection from Poirot as Jackie has followed them there, having turned into an obsessive stalker wanting to win Simon back after their commitment self-destructed. Desiring to escape from Jackie, however not wanting to disrupt their wedding trip, the couple pick to board the cruise SS Karnak with their visitors. Nonetheless, Lynette admits to Poirot that she is paranoid and has no faith in her visitors. During a visit at the Abu Simbel, Bouc admits to Poirot that he is dating Rosalie, despite Euphemia's disapproval. Poirot gives him his blessing, while Bouc urges him to find love. Poirot begins showing interest towards the charismatic Salome. Lynette and Simon barely sidestep a collapsing rock, and subsequent to escaping a dust storm, the visitors return to the Karnak just to find Jackie had likewise boarded. Lynette and Simon decide to leave the following morning and offer a final goodbye with Poirot. An intoxicated Poirot experiences Jackie, who is still unyielding and wanting to win back Simon. While Lynette passes on to rest for the evening, Simon stands up to and insults Jackie, prompting her to instinctively take shots at his leg before immediately feeling regret and kicking her firearm away. Bouc and Rosalie bring Jackie to be tended by Mrs. Thickets, while Windlesham watches out for Simon's injury. Louise finds Lynette shot in the head the following morning and her important gem neckband taken. Poirot, joined by Simon and Bouc, begin interrogating the visitors and disentangle possible motivations. Jackie is precluded as the killer due to being monitored by Nooks throughout the night. Andrew had nearly allowed Lynette to sign a revised agreement that would have stolen her, had it not been for Rosalie's intervention. He likewise has a bigger weapon. Salome has a firearm similar to Jackie's in her hat. Euphemia detects Lynette's neckband among her belongings and reports it to Poirot, who begins suspecting her also. Jackie's firearm, the deadly weapon, is ultimately viewed as wrapped with Van Schuyler's missing scarf and missing 2 shots. Poirot accumulates Bouc, Euphemia, Salome, and Rosalie, and uncovers that he was hired by Euphemia to keep an eye on Rosalie to check whether she is a suitable love for Bouc. Despite Poirot's endorsement, Euphemia still denies to give them her blessing to Bouc's distress, while Rosalie castigates Poirot for deceiving them. Louise is found out of commission wheel, with her throat slit and cash found among her belongings. As tension raises high among the visitors, Poirot sees the state of a possible witness close to blood splatter from Louise's homicide. Poirot and Simon interrogate Bouc, who is bewildered at his own friend suspecting him. Poirot concludes that Bouc had proactively tracked down Lynette dead. He took her gem jewelry and set it in his mom's belongings to implicate her for stealing, subsequently giving him and Rosalie independence from her. He then witnessed Louise extorting cash from the killer before she was killed herself and tossed his jacket in the river as it was covered in Louise's blood. Before he could uncover the killer, Bouc is assassinated from far off. Poirot pursues the killer and fails to get them, just finding Andrew's weapon abandoned. Motivated by the death of his closest friend, he and the group of the Karnak secure the enduring visitors in the boat's bar, having addressed the homicide. Poirot gets Andrew to admit that he had tossed the stone at Simon and Lynette as a frantic attempt, however he is resolved that he was not the executioner. Poirot uncovers that Simon is Lynette's executioner, with Jackie as the brains. They are still sweethearts, as they organize Simon's sentiment with Lynette so Simon would acquire her abundance whenever she is killed. Having professed to shoot Simon, she figured out how to occupy Bouc and Rosalie, while Simon utilized paint taken from Euphemia to counterfeit his physical issue. He utilized the short measure of time to kill Lynette, with Louise seeing it, and afterward shot himself in the leg with Van Schuyler's scarf as a silencer in time for Windlesham to show up. Simon later discarded the deadly weapon, while Jackie later killed Louise and Bouc. Taken part in a deadlock with Poirot and Salome, Simon endeavors to escape with Jackie, however Jackie, realizing there can be no way out for them, shoots through the two of them, killing the two darlings. The travelers land in London. A clean-cut Poirot visits Salome's jazz club to watch her perform.